Hey sweet friends, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be doing our weekly plan with me for Monday, July 28th through the beginning of August. I'm super excited because this is the first week that I head back to work after being off for the summer. If you guys do not know, my name is Michaela Barnhart. I am going into my third year teaching second grade in South Carolina. So yeah, I'm super excited to get this week started. I am currently on summer break, like I said. It is Tuesday the 22nd when I'm filming this. This is kind of what I have for this week. But I'm trying to kind of crank some things out towards the beginning of this week because we have a bunch of parties this weekend going on. Tomorrow is my little guy's first birthday. So as the week goes on, we're just getting busier. So I want to kind of try to get as much done as I can early this week. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and set it up. Let me show you guys what we're working with. Of course, I have my Erin Condren hourly. That's what I'm using here. And then I pulled this planner cake kit. I love this. I think it is beautiful. It is mini kit 732. I have the sampler sheet. Then I have sheet D, which has the check boxes and some other labels. I have skinny washi and brush stroke headers. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, I'm actually going to start with my brush stroke headers. I'm going to go ahead and put the dates onto them so that I remember I know like what's supposed to go where after I cover the dates up. So Monday is the 28th. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of stick these down. And while I'm doing that, we can kind of chat about what we got going on this week because, like I said, it is the official week that I go back to school or back to work, whatever you want to say. I feel like as a teacher, I call it going to school every day, which is kind of weird because technically it's my job, so I'm going to work. But anyways, this is my first week back to work after being on break for the summer. Our school got out at the very end of May. That week of Memorial Day was our last week. The kids were out on Monday for Memorial Day, and then we went to school full day on Tuesday, a half day on Wednesday, and that was it. And then teachers had a work day. But yeah, so we got out really early, which is why we start back pretty early. We're on like a modified year-round schedule is what they call it. We're not really year-round because we get all of June off and then the majority of July because as you can see, we're going back at the very end of July. But they call it modified year-round because during the school year, since we do only we get the shorter summer, we get a lot of breaks throughout the school year, which, what am I looking for? This. Is nice. I actually really like it like this. I know we have a lot of complaints that come in from parents because it is a lot harder on parents with trying to find childcare, but after the past few years, because I think this year will be the third or fourth year we've done it as a district, the daycares in our area have started providing a lot better options, I guess you would say, for parents. I cannot get this to tear. So I think it's getting better. But at first parents did not like it because it did require them to kind of figure out a lot more childcare, which I know would be difficult. I can only imagine what that would be like. So I feel that, but it is nice from the teacher perspective because it kind of gives us breaks throughout the year that we really need. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons our district decided to do it was teacher retention. Because we were going through some phases where we were losing a lot of teachers and not gaining new ones. And not to say that we aren't still going through that, but, I don't know. Anyways, that's a lot of teacher talk for right now. Let's just plan. So I'm going to set up the bones first. Like you can see, I am putting on my strip headers. I'll set up the sidebar, and then we will actually get into planning out this week. I'm excited because for the past several weeks, I haven't been able to use my skinny washi. Not this one that you're looking at here, but the one that's actually on the skinny washi sheet, these, because I haven't been going to work. And so I haven't really had a use for them because I usually use those to mark my work hours, to mark them all throughout the day. So I'm excited to be able to finally get to use those again and see a full week set up and how it's going to look. I'm excited for that. So anywho, let's go ahead and get these down and then put our headers on for the week, or for days of the week, I should say. Struggling here against the coil. It's the one thing that I don't necessarily love about the Erin Condren planners is the big coil, but we make do. All right, so there's that. Where did I hide? There they are. Let's put these guys in. Outside of just normal work stuff, I shouldn't even say normal because I have some funky hours this week. But we have on Monday a checkup for Hudson. He is our baby. He's turning 1 on Wednesday. I think I mentioned that a minute ago. And his 1-year-old checkup is going to be this Monday, the 28th. I think it's at 3:30. I'll have to look and see. So we have that. And then I think we actually have a pretty chill week the rest of the week, other than just like being back at work. And then the week after that is really going to crank it back up again when school starts back, and our oldest has his birthday that next weekend. So we have a busy couple weeks coming up, but it's going to be fun. All right, let's set this to the side and let's set up our planner over here on this side, or our sidebar, I should say. So I'm going to put that down. Then we will use this week's sticker. Cover that. Beautiful. Move that stuff out of the way. All right, so we have that. Let's put in our little headers over here. So we're going to put to do, and then I like to use this little notebook for the to-dos. And then I'll put in 2 of these short little boxes. Okay. And then we can put into contact. And I'll use the little phone for that one. And again, we'll put in just 1 this time. And then last thing is to go. And for that one, I'll use the car. Okay. All right, there's that set up on our sidebar. I think I forgot to put in the little weekend banner. I like to put that in over here. So let's stick that thing in. Perfect. All right. I think what I'm going to start with is putting in work. Usually I've been putting in my workouts because I go first thing in the morning. At least that's what my sister and I have been doing. But I'm not sure if I'm going to continue that now that I'm going back to work. I may work out after work. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to figure out what our morning schedule is going to look like with Jeremiah, because I leave first. He doesn't have to be at work as early as I do, so he ends up being like the person that takes the boys to daycare, because by the time they get to daycare, I'm already like an hour and 30 minutes into work. So I'm trying to figure out what that's going to look like before I decide if I'm going to continue morning workouts or if I'm going to try afternoon workouts. So I'm not going to put those in, long story short, but I will put in all my work hours. So really quickly, let me pause and grab those work hours because they're different next week than normal, and then we'll reconvene. Okay, so I've pulled up my iPad. I have it sitting up here in front of you guys where you guys can't see it, but I do have my hours pulled up. So let's go ahead and stick some of these in. So on Monday, our actual hours are supposed to be 8 to 3:30, but like I was just telling you guys, Hudson has his checkup at 3:30, so I got permission from my principal to go in like an hour earlier, or not an hour, 30 minutes earlier, and then get off 30 minutes early, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna work from 7:30 to 3 instead of 8 to 3:30. Long story short, I don't know, not long story short, but that was a long story for a short reason. Let's go ahead and stick that in there. So we're gonna go 7:30 down to 3 for my first day back. And that actually works out nicely because we only have meetings, we have our school opening meeting or whatever that we always have. They feed us breakfast, and it is at 8 o'clock that morning or 8:30. So I'm not gonna miss anything in the afternoon. So we'll have that there, and then I don't know why I picked that up. On Tuesday, we are 8 to 3:30. So I'll work that normal hours there. Okay. And then Wednesday is where it gets a little funky. We have Meet the Teacher on Wednesday, so our hours are very different than normal. We actually don't have to go in until 10, which is going to be really nice. And then we don't get off though until 5:30. So we have a much later afternoon than what we normally would be dealing with. But that's okay. It is Meet the Teacher. We do our they do it in like two sections, I guess you would say. So parents can either come at 12:30 to meet the teacher or at 4:30, and we do the same things at both. So that's why our hours are a little bit off though. So there's that one. And then on Thursday we have a full day training for Leader in Me, which I'm really excited about. Actually, we are becoming a Leader in Me district this year, so I'm excited to see what that entails. This year is like the year where we focus on staff training, and it's not like a full implementation with the students as well. It's mostly just like staff stuff, and then we're adding in morning meeting and things. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how it goes. So we're working 8 to 3:30 though there. And then on Friday, let me skip over because that's a new month. On Friday we are working 8 to 3:30 again, so pretty easy. All right, so now that we've got all of those in, I'm gonna put in some little headers on each one of those just to kind of have somewhere I can write in the hours, since they are different every day. And I think I'm gonna use these guys. Yeah, I think I like that. So let's grab some and go all the way across with these. And then, like I said, on these I will just write in our hours for the day. That one's super crooked, so let's fix that. If I can get it back up. I've got to go get these nails taken off because they are making everything so much harder. I did cut them myself, but I do not have the tools to like take the dip part off. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna ruin this whole sticker trying to get it up. So yeah, I've got to find time to go get it off. But if you guys didn't know, I have walking pneumonia right now. That's why I have such a horrible like cough and voice sounds funny, all the things. So I'm trying to avoid really going anywhere because obviously I don't want to spread sickness, and I'm supposed to be kind of resting. I'm supposed to be in bed all day. Anywho, so there's that. I'll write down the hours in just a little bit because I like to write everything at one time. But that at least puts that in. Now let's go back and put in that appointment at 3:30. And I think for that appointment I'm going to use one of these. These little like torn things. I don't know what you would call that, but I think they're super cute. So we'll put that in there. What else do we have going on? So Hudson, we have Bible study on Wednesday. I'm gonna put that in on one of these. So I don't know if I'll actually go to Bible study this week, being that we do have Meet the Teacher and I don't get off work till 5:30. And Bible study is at 6:30. So I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but we'll see. And then what else was it? Bible study, and that's it until that Monday, which is in August. So let's flip to August. Oh, and just convocation. Okay. I think I just gave you guys a little sneak peek too, because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to post this video before I post my August plan with me, but that's okay. You got a little sneak peek. Alright guys, so I don't even really remember where I left off. I ended up getting a phone call from my mom and had to go see her for a minute, or for a few minutes. So we're back though. I don't remember where I left off, but I can tell that I need to put in my workouts. I feel like that's probably where I left off. So I think what I've decided is I'm not even going to try to work out first thing in the morning, because I know maybe this week it would work, but the next week when I have to start being at work at 7, I know that there's no way I'm going to be able to have my full hour workout, my 30-minute quiet time, getting ready, getting breakfast cooked, the boys up ready, and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm not gonna be able to make that work without getting up at like 2 a.m. and that's not happening. So we're going to go ahead and shift to afternoon workouts this week. Obviously Monday I can't because we have that appointment. So I'm going to put in a workout here. I'll go right when I get off at 3:30. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to work out in the morning. So I'm still going to put this up here early. I'll just put it right at 6. I don't know exactly what time I'll go, but obviously I don't have to be at work till 10, so there's plenty of time there to do that. And then on Friday, I'll go in the afternoon again, right when I get off work. Usually I just go those 3 days. We'll see. I feel like I'm getting to the point after going for several weeks where I could add another day in, or maybe go over the weekend, but I don't want to put that in yet because I don't know. I don't feel comfortable putting that in yet. Anyways, sorry. So we've got those in. Let's put in church. I'm going to grab this cutesy little floral one, and we will put church in. Let me turn the light back on, actually. That might help a little bit. I don't think it helped that much, but we'll put church in over here from 10 to 12. It's a little crooked, so let's just try to fix that real quick. Okay, and then right after church, we always eat at my mom's house, have like a little family time, so we can put that in as well. Okay. I think that's really it for that kind of stuff. We do need to put in, I have to give Anna, our dog, her heartworm medicine. So I'm going to use this little like paw to put that in on Wednesday. And I think I'm just going to kind of stick it right here maybe, just so I kind of remember that that is there. Okay, so I think I'm at a point where I'm going to go ahead and start going in with the pen, and then we can add in things if we need to. So I do use these two little habit trackers right here. I track my Bible study because I do try to do that every single morning. I've been doing pretty good about it, so hopefully we can keep that up once school starts back, and then my workouts. Okay, and then like I said, I'm going to work from 7:30 to 3 will be work. Here we'll go 8 to 3:30 work. Right here we have a 3:30 for Hudson's checkup. And then we have our workout. Usually my first day of the week is legs and abs. And then we have our workout up here. Normally I do all upper body, like arms, back, and I do abs again. So we'll just put upper body. Here I'm working from 10 to 5:30. And then we have a 6:30 Bible study. Okay. And then on this side, we're gonna go 8 to 3:30 work. I feel like the camera is shaking so much. And then same thing here. And then a workout. And usually on Friday, I just do cardio and abs. I try to do abs every day. If you haven't guessed that yet, I'm trying to get my tummy in shape. And then over here, we just have church from 10 to 12. And then we have lunch at Mom's. Okay, so that puts that in. I'm gonna add some of these like cutesy little icons. I just like to throw these in wherever they make sense. So let's do let's do the little ones I like to do for my workout. So I usually use this little stethoscope. I could use this for Hudson's sorry, I could use this for Hudson's checkup. I think I actually am going to do that this week, because normally I use that for my cardio day, but that makes more sense to be there. We will put in our cardio day with a little foot, or a little shoe, not a foot. We'll do upper body with the little weights, and then I'll just do the little like scale for legs and abs, just to kind of put something there, make it cute. Then we have, what else? I stuck the little dog thing in. Bible study, I like to use this one for. We can do the little house for lunch at Mom's. And then I think that's probably about it that we're going to put in for that. I do want to put in really quickly a spot where I write down our dinners. I try to do that every day. Like just whatever we're planning to have. Usually I do that like the 5 o'clock hour. So I mark off from 5 to 6. Okay, so I'm going to put dinners in from 5 to 6. I'm going to skip over Wednesday though, because usually they feed us dinner at the school. 9 times out of 10 they do, at least. So we'll see if they still do that or not. But let's go ahead and stick these in. Okay, so I think that is it for the week that I can at least think of right now. Let me check one more time. Make sure that I've got everything. I got doctor's appointment in. I did that. I'm not worried about putting that in necessarily. So yeah, I think that is it. It's not a pay week, so there's nothing to do as far as bills or anything. So yeah, I think that will finish us off. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching my plan with me. This is what we have for next week. Again, I'm super excited to get back into finally having or having a work schedule and kind of getting back into like a normal routine. I feel like myself and both of our boys thrive on a routine. And not to say that the summer has not been great. It has been wonderful. We've had so much fun. We've done so many fun things. And I definitely am sad to be going back to work in a way, but I'm excited to get back into like just the swing of things. So all of that said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right. Bye guys.